And just the candy in the movie theater was.
But what about Thor versus the Hulk? When
in Avengers?
In the Avengers. I love that.
In the Hulk TV series.
Oh, the Hulk TV. Oh, my God.
Remember, Cinematic Universe.
Yeah, we're going to stick to the movies. We're going to stick to the movies.
No,
now,
but definitely in Avengers when Hulk just goes like this and punches Thor off
just for the hell of it.
He's like, hee.
You know.
That was awesome.
I'm going to talk about Thor 2 shortly, but kind of progressing the conversation through the Marvel movies. So after Iron Man, the next one, I believe, was Thor.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
All right, which I feel is an underrated movie. A lot of people kind of like passed over it. They're like, yeah, it happened, okay. But I remember going to watch it, and I just really... I thought the imagery was fantastic. I thought the music was amazing. I thought the acting was right on point. It's actually one of my favorite of the Marvel movies.
And they hit the nail on the head with the origin story.
Yes. For a change of pace.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't a fan of the comic at all.
Right.
I just wasn't a Thor fan. I skipped the movie in the theater until I went to that marathon before the first Avengers. And I was very pleasantly surprised.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it.
What do you mean origin for Thor was spot on? That was totally off.
The new one, not the old one.
No, I'm talking about the new one where it's like he wasn't Donald Blake with the cane. And,
oh, well, yeah.
No, that's the original one.
Yeah, well, that's the comic.
I'm talking about like the new rebooted one.
Oh, so Iron Man 1 and then 2 and then Thor?
Actually, Iron Man 1 looks like it came out before The Incredible Hulk in the same year.
Oh, The Incredible Hulk came out, where did I see it?
See, this is the power of having crew and having them with IMDb.com on their computers.
Probably, because...
IMDb.
Yeah, well, I was wikiing also.
It also makes more sense to have Robert Downey Jr. show up in the tag scene if Incredible Hulk showed up after Iron Man.
Yeah.
All right, I'm good with being corrected. That works.
But I think a Hulk...
I mean, you got that Hulk movie from before in your mind, and sometimes it just throws
I think it's what threw
it. Well, we were talking earlier because the Incredible Hulk movie was Universal.
Yeah, the Ang Lee one.
And that was in 2005 that they were talking about it, but it didn't come out until 2008.
Gotcha. Okay.
So, yes, it's Iron Man, Incredible Hulk, Iron Man 2,
See,
Thor,
we can be entertaining and educational.
Captain America, and then then the Avengers.
All right.
That's called Phase 1, Avengers Assembled.
All right. Now, origin story, discrepancies aside, what did you think of Thor, Wayne?
Where are the rest of the gods? Where's Baldur? Where's all the rest of the gods? They still only show like 3.
Isn't that coming in the next movie?
Well,
in Ragnarok.
Ragnarok.
That kind of brings to point, how much do you put into a single movie before it gets too cluttered?
Well,
and
Then
to me, that's where I know we're talking Marvel, but I think that's where DC falls on their face.
Then you run into Suicide Squad syndrome.
Oh yeah,
What's Suicide Squad syndrome?
Too much at
once. Too much at once. I mean, Suicide Squad was a good movie. It's just they packed quite a bit into the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Again, like I said, DC tends to try to do that, and I think Marvel's been good at not putting too much into one movie.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of that is they plan on spreading things out and making more money. I get that.
They have experimented with that with a couple of their movies. I can't think of one that comes to mind, but I feel like one or two of them had a little bit too much in it.
Spider-Man 3 comes to mind. Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Yeah.
They tried to do all the stuff with Amazing Spider-Man 2.
But the thing is, those wasn't.
They're not MCU
Marvel,
technically.
Yeah.
But they're instances where if you try to pack too much into a movie, it starts getting weird.
True.
And I think that would be my counter to Thor. Wayne, you're commenting on you're missing this guy.
Well, I was just saying there's the rest of the
pantheon
of the Norse mythos,
right?
And they totally which they don't do.
Well, they do go into a couple of them. They do have Lady Sif. They have the Warriors 3, and they have Odin and Loki, and that's. If you're just introducing someone into Thor, I feel like that's a good roster.
Yeah, I mean, you
don't need the Warriors 3 or Sif then.
True, but it's nice. Like
they had to do something. There had to be some sort of a tip of the hat to it.
They needed more eye candy.
Jamie Alexander, come on.
Yeah, come on.
Oh my lord.
You're welcome, Kelsey.
So all right. So where are we going now? We have two Iron Mans. We have.
Cappy.
And it's Cap, the winner, the original, the first
Avenger.
Avenger.
The first Avenger. I love Cap.
That was done pretty well.
Now, when you hear Christopher Evans being cast as Captain America after 2 Fantastic Four movies where he was Johnny Storm,
I forgot he was Johnny Storm.
Had you?
Yeah, I
forget
had
about
forgotten
that.
at that point. Yeah.
Because that was my first thought. I saw him in a couple of teen movies too, so I'm used to the wisecracking jerk in essence, and I'm like, that's Captain America, really? I'll be honest, that was my first thought, and then the movie comes out, and I see Chris Evans playing Steve Rogers. And I'm okay. I'm sold. I'm in.
Yeah,
I'm in.
It's really a testament to how good Chris Evans can be.
Mm-hmm. He's got some range, and then he goes back to in The Losers, being the wisecracker, and I thought that was a hilarious movie. Come on, that was funny as hell.
Hey, no swearing.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh yeah,
no swearing.
Cap doesn't like that. Romanoff. Enough.
You and I remember Budapest in
a slightly different way. All right, so Captain America, the first Avenger.
Reference.
Oh, speaking of eye candy. Sorry.
Okay. No, what did we think of that movie, though, of Captain America?
It was good. It was a good starting point.
It was a good starting point. They got the origin basically right.
For one that didn't read any of the comics, this has pulled me in to become a fan. Because I can check my brain at the door and just enjoy the special effects and the story and things like that, and I have no preconceived notions whatsoever of how this should be or shouldn't be compared to the comic books and the stories and things like that.
And guys in the room, Haley Atwell.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. Say no more.
Okay.
That's all right.
Can I tell you, I love her on Conviction.
Oh, I know. She's hilarious in that show.
She is.
It's fun to watch her kind of just play the anti-Peggy.
I forget. Yes. Did they have Cap punch Hitler in the face?
No.
Yes, they did.
Yeah,
they did because they were doing the whole
the
montage.
Oh yeah.
Where he's on the stage doing the
I love
that.
Is that's prime. I love that.
Yeah, that's the classic cover.
You have to punch Hitler in the face.
You have to. And all right, so now
that part of the movie though is kind of cheesy when they were doing all.
Yeah, but that was the
point. That was the point.
Buy your savings bond.
It was meant to look sort of pointless because, that's how he started.
Exactly.
And he didn't like that. He wanted to be the hero, not just the guy in tights on the stage.
Right. You see the frustration building in the character's eyes as that montage goes on.
Keeps going on,
and then it finally reaches his breaking point in front of the troops.
Mm-hmm. And then lets somebody have it. And that's that. And then now you're on your way. All right, so we have 2 Iron Mans, a Thor, a Captain America, and then it begins.
It does.
This is when all hell breaks loose at this point.
And it takes 6 movies to have all hell break loose.
6.
People
are going to wonder about that.
Slow on the uptake, Brian.
I got Kelsey-itis. I think I'm tired.
No PJs?
The Avengers hits. All right, and the hype at that point, I think it was right around Iron Man 2 Thor's when we start hearing the rumors about how they're working on the Avengers Initiative.
Right.
And how they're going to start tying all these movies together. And Phase 1 starts becoming a term, at this point that's bounced around at this stage. Nowadays we're talking about planning for Phase 4, but now Phase 1 was not even in the vernacular yet. We hadn't even understood that this was something they were working on.
It started to hit... Oh, go ahead.
Now I'm like... Is this truly the connection in the movie where where Phase 1 is finishing and now Phase 2 for when
Avengers is the culmination of Phase 1?
Where Fury's we're getting the stuff ready for Phase 2.
We're bringing the band together.
Talking to Colby, whatever.
Colby Smulders?
Agent Hill.
Yeah.
Now it makes sense looking at it where it says Phase 1, Phase 2, Phase...
Yeah.
The light bulb went on.
What was the end of Phase 2?
The end of Phase 2 was
Ant-Man.
Age of Ultron.
Was it?
Ant-Man.
Ant-Man?
Ant-Man.
Really?
Ant-Man.
Really?
That's such a low note to go out on.
Age of Ultron, then Ant-Man came out.
Oh, I thought Ant-Man was the beginning of Phase 3.
No, they got Civil War as the beginning of Phase 3 because of the whole Civil War. I think that's where their Phase 3 came in.
All right.
Because now they're
we're in
fracturing.
Phase 3 now.
We're in Phase 3
right now.
Okay.
So, all right, Phase 1 ends with Avengers.
Right.
Masterpiece kind of movie? Does it hit all the right notes? Does it hit?
Loved
yeah.
it.
Mm-hmm.
Can I have Jeremy Renner?
So you're the one that wants him.
Full disclosure.
God, yes.
Seriously, full disclosure. Tanya has had a Jeremy Renner crush for a very long time now.
Oh, God.
Yeah, she's been working on that one. She's been brewing that one for a while.
Oh, my goodness.
Right, Kelsey? Yeah.
And now, was the Jeremy Renner crush, was that coming in as recently as far back as SWAT? For instance, or the Hurt Locker.
I haven't seen those.
No,
it came in through Avengers.
So you fell in love with Clint Barton.
Oh no, from
Thor.
I don't know. We better do something. I'm starting to root for this guy. Right? His one really good comment, or his one good quote in Thor.
That was his only line in Thor, wasn't it?
I think he had two. Like just a couple of little conversational pieces, but yeah.
But yeah, so and I like him in other stuff, but I haven't seen the SWAT or the Hurt Locker, but I've seen him in stuff recently.
Okay. Mission Impossible. What else has he been in?
He was in Bourne.
He was in a Bourne movie.
He was a Bourne.
You know what actor we're not talking about?
Who?
Samuel.
I'm tired of these.
Something on a plane?
Yeah. No swearing.
Well, not that swearing.
Cap doesn't like that language.
But he's not in any of the next movies. Except for maybe he might make a cameo in
Infinity War.
Maybe.
I think that's what I've heard. Is he going to pop up in Infinity War?
And Black Widow should have her own movie.
I read an interesting article about that.
About that.
There has been a debate about it, and here was the two sides of the coin on a Black Widow movie. They've used Scarlett Johansson really well as a foil in a lot of these movies. She's the supporting character. She has the right thing at the right time, or she does she has the right little drop in, the right cameo at the right moment. To give her own movie means now you have to you kind of like pull her out of the role of being the supporting character that she's played so well throughout all of these movies she's been in.
Maybe give her an action figure.
Give her an action. Well, that'd be nice to give her.
First.
She deserves. I'll tell you what. She definitely deserves that kind of recognition because they have left her out of the marketing, and I think that's a travesty myself. Because it's such a hell of a character and a great actress doing it. I mean, Scarlett Johansson. The first time you see her is Lost in Translation.
Why do you think I went red for my hair?
Trust me. I know you told me about that. You see her in Lost in Translation with Bill Murray. It's this great kind of like romantic comedy almost. And you see this dynamic as an actor, but then she becomes, in essence, an action star, with Lucy and the Avengers movies.
Mm-hmm. And the second Captain America movie, I loved her in that.
Oh, my gosh, she was amazing in that.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And hot.
Mm-hmm. That too.
You need that eye candy.
Well, yeah, you do. So do we give her a movie? If we're calling the shots for the MCU, does Black Widow have a movie, or do we continue to use her as that value supporting character who's always going to be present?
Maybe her origin story.
Which they kind of touch on in Ultron.
Hawkeye together.
Well,
I'd like to see them.
You know what?
Together in one movie.
I feel like I think if you're going to have a Black Widow movie, it should be with at least one other MCU mainstay.
And how she ended up becoming part of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah.
Here's an idea.
Wayne's got this look on his face like,
I don't know how you do that because
how about you do
progressed so far.
Well,
true. I don't think you could do it now. I think if you were going to do it, you should have done it
a while ago.
You should have done it a while ago.
How about a Netflix series with her and Jeremy Renner?
Oh yeah, maybe.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean,
can I be an
I'm
extra?
all for that one.
I'd love to be an extra.
She can even stand in the background and go, "Oh my God, save me!"
I think I could do that.
Yeah.
Save me.
Okay. Save me on this podcast.
No, now we definitely have to have more therapy.
All right, so Avengers. Let's wrap that one and move on through the phases here. Avengers. Joss Whedon, who we all love because we've talked adamantly about Buffy and Firefly and all that other stuff in the past. His work on Avengers, the first one. Is it the right balance? Is there something missing? Is there something that he did too much? Something we didn't do enough of? What do we got? Crickets?
It was
It was a nice blend of bringing all of the characters together into the one movie. It was just enough where you got all of the background for the major pieces and just bringing it together and then tying it tightly together. It was just done perfectly well.
I don't know that there's a lot of directors who could have done that. I mean,
No.
it's failed so many times in so many other instances in movies.
Well, also because he knows the material.
Right.
Yes.
He reads comics and stuff. So
he reads and writes them and draws them.
Yeah.
And he's good at ensembles because, you notice in Buffy and Angel and Firefly, he's strong at making sure that there's no one character more important than the rest. Yeah, you have your central character. You have Buffy, but you have the Scoobies, and the Scoobies have their own background and their stories. Angel, you have the brooding vampire, but he's got his slate of supporting characters, and they all have some depth and some quality to them. Firefly, every single person on the Serenity had some sort of depth to them, and I think that's why those shows were so popular. So you have this guy who's a maestro at, in essence, ensemble casts, And he's get to work. He's built already on these origin story movies. You've had 2 Iron Mans, a Hulk, Captain America, and a Thor already. So there's characters you don't have to introduce anymore because they've been done for you. He's basically been given the New York Philharmonic Orchestra and told to have at it. And there's your ensemble.